Hello, my friends. This is Doug Fabian. Welcome to my weekly ETF report. Today is Wednesday, April 1st, 2015. It is hard to believe that we already have 25% of calendar year 2015 in the books. And of course, I have three things to talk to you about today. But I want to begin with making the point that it is very important to take a look at your investment portfolio more closely on a quarterly basis. This is what professional advisors do, and I encourage you to do the same thing. So I've got three things to talk about, and the first is that you want to look at your overall asset allocation. Really, all investments fall into one of three categories. It's either an equity, and we'll even put commodities like gold and oil because they act like equities into that category for a moment. Second, there are bonds, fixed income, and then there is cash. So knowing what your overall asset allocation is really important in order to be able to make changes and adjustments. I'm not recommending any changes and adjustments right now. I'm recommending that you know exactly where you're at the end of this quarter. You're going to be getting your brokerage statements. You're going to be getting your 401k statements. So all of that information is going to be coming to you. Let's get our asset allocation figured out. Second, we're going to be talking a lot over the next couple of weeks about the scoreboard. What happened in the first quarter of 2015? What can we learn from it? So today I'm going to go through some scoreboard basics. And with each of these investment categories, I have selected some specific exchange traded funds just to give you an indication of what the indexes have done. Let's begin with equities. Looking at equities, SPY, the S&P 500, was up 0.4% in the first quarter. QQQ is the NASDAQ 100, Apple, Google, Microsoft, that was up 2.2% in the first quarter. EFA, these are the international companies of the developed countries around the world. They were up almost 5.5% in the first quarter. And then lastly, emerging markets up 2.1% in the first quarter. Again, what we're doing is just getting an understanding of where the scorecard ended up after the first 25% of the year, and the US market is lagging emerging markets and international markets. Second, let's look at bonds. And I have three ticker symbols of exchange traded funds here. TLT is long-term treasury bonds, up 3.7%. AGG is the aggregate bond index, kind of all bonds put together, up 1.1%, 1.2%, and then emerging market bonds up 2.2% in the first quarter. Next, I wanted to look at commodities. Gold was flat in the first quarter. Oil down 17%, and DBC, which is an index of all commodities, was down 7% in the first quarter of 2015. And then lastly, normally this isn't a big deal, but it's a big deal right now because of the volatility in the currency markets, and I wanted you to see these numbers. UUP is the US dollar ETF, up 8%. FXE is the Euro ETF, down 11%. FXY, the Japanese Yen ETF, was down 0.25%. Now, why are these numbers important? It's important to kind of understand what the score is and then also what the trend is. Trends in US equities are still bullish and rising. Interest rates on bonds are falling, and therefore prices of bonds are rising. We all know about the strong US dollar. We all know about the weak commodity prices. So with that landscape, we can start to make some adjustments. But before we make any adjustments, you want to look at your portfolio through a critical eye here, and I have a couple of suggestions. First of all, look at your equity allocation. How much international exposure do you have? I do a lot of portfolio reviews. I look at individual investor portfolios all the time. And the big gaping gap in most investors' portfolio is low exposure to international equities. And international equities are doing great, much better than US equities this year. So an idea from an allocation standpoint is to increase your exposure to international equities. Second, look at your bond exposure, your fixed income exposure. What is the yield? There are some great exchange traded funds that offer you good yield, low volatility, good total return. And then lastly, your cash position. Cash is earning zero. Cash is a good safe harbor, but cash is not an investment strategy. So your cash should be your dry powder in order to be able to put money to work. Now, over the next few weeks, starting next week, and starting on my radio show on Friday, when I record the show, ETF Success with Doug Fabian, I'm going to start talking about investing ideas for Q2 and beyond, the second quarter and beyond in 2015. So I'm not going to leave you high and dry with just telling you, hey, this did that and that did that. I'm going to give you some investing ideas. But before you can implement a new idea, you need to know where you're at, and that's what this week's video was all about. I hope this helps, and as always, I welcome your emails. My email address is askdoug@dougfabian.com, askdoug@dougfabian.com. Thanks for tuning in.